Execute select star from account details. I inserted 11 records into account details table. And in transaction details table, I have only 2 records. Check these 2 records also. In transaction details table, I have 2 records. Who did this particular transaction? Who is the person? These 2 transactions. Who did? Account ID 1 person did these 2 transactions. Yes or no? If you execute select star from account details, you will get his details. Account ID 1 person. This person did those 2 transactions. Now my requirement is I want account details of the people who did transactions. I want account details of the people only who did transactions. Who is the person who did transaction? What is his account ID? This thing output we can't do. No problem. Account ID 1 person did transactions. Now I want only his details. If one more person did transaction, I want his details also. I want details of the people only who did transactions. For example, let me insert one more value into transaction details. Insert into transaction details. Transaction details, we have to give data only for few columns called account ID, transaction type, and transaction amount. Because transaction ID is auto generated by using auto increment, and transaction time is default value by using no. Account ID, transaction type, and transaction amount. Transaction amount. Values. Account ID 7% did this particular transaction. Transaction type is credit. And transaction amount is 1,000 rupees. That it may execute this query. Transaction type. Sorry, spelling mistake and type. Transaction type. Let me execute select star from transaction details. Now, how many people did transactions? How many people did transactions now? 2 people. Account ID 1 person and account ID 7 person. I want their details only. I don't want remaining people details. I want account details of the people who did transactions. How can we get them? Requirement is I want account details of the people who did transactions. If he did transactions, I want his details. If they didn't did any transactions, I don't want their details. How to get them? From how many tables I am printing data here? Only from account details table. Think it whether it is correct or not. Check here, check the current query. If you have doubts, you can ask me later. Here I am printing data only from account details table. But I am depending on transaction details table. Why am I depending on transaction details table? Here I want to find who are the people who did transactions. To find who did transactions, I am depending on transaction details table. Name is present in account details table. Just to find who did that particular transactions, we are depending on transaction details table. For example, let me write a query. Select account ID from transaction details. What will this query returns? Select account ID from transaction details. Yes, select ID from transaction details. What will this query returns? Yeah, whoever did transactions, it will print their account IDs only. I am printing account IDs from transaction details. In transaction details table, I am storing details of the people only who did transactions. Here I am printing account IDs of the people only who did transactions. I am not printing complete table. I am printing only account ID column of the people who did transactions. Here I am printing account IDs of the people who did transactions. If I have account IDs of the people, if I have their account IDs, can I print their remaining details by using their account IDs? If I have account ID number 1, can I print his details? Select star from account details where account ID equal to 1. If I have their account IDs, can I print their remaining details? Let me write this query in workbench. First thing is select account ID from transaction details. If I execute this particular thing, I got in the output, I got account ID 1, 1, and 7. These three are the account IDs of the people who did transactions. If you don't want duplicates in them, you have to use select distinct of account ID. This distinct is a function which is used to remove duplicates. Select distinct of account ID from transaction details. Account ID 1 and 7 persons did transactions. Now, to print their account details, I am writing select star from account details, where account ID in 1, 7. Select star from account details, where account ID in 1, 7. This 1 and 7 are the two people who did transactions. Now I am printing their account details. Account details of 1 and 7. Now I will get the account details of the people who did transactions, right? These two people did transactions. And I am printing their account details. Select star from account details, where account ID is 1, 7. If you check in transaction details, select distinct of account ID from transaction details. I got 1, 7. These two are the account IDs of the people who did transactions. Now I am printing their account details. Select star from account details, where account ID is 1, 7. I am printing all the account details of account ID 1 and 7. We are giving values manually because I have only two people did transactions. What if you have 50 lakh people did transactions? Or what if you have 10 lakh people did transactions? Is it possible to give 10 lakh values manually here? Where condition? No. That's why what I will do is I will copy this query, and I will copy this query. Instead of these values, I will paste this query. Instead of values, I will paste this query. For readability, I am writing in multiple lines. In where condition, I will paste the inner query instead of giving values manually. What will happen in this scenario? First, it will execute the inner query. First, it will execute the inner query. First, it will execute this inner query. What will be the output of this inner query? It will find the account IDs of the people who did transactions. Even if they are 1 lakh account IDs, it will print all 1 lakh account IDs automatically. In this in condition, it will print automatically. First inner query will be executed and it will print their result here. After that, outer query will execute. Select star from account details, where account ID in, and the output of this query will be taken as values. If I execute this particular thing, the same output will be reflected. This type of writing query is called subquery. Subquery. A query within another query is called subquery. In subquery, always inner query will execute first. Inner query. Inner query will be written in where are having classes only. Inner query will be written in where are having classes only. When do we use this subquery? What is the purpose of using this subquery? Whenever we are printing data only from one table and we are depending on another table. Here I am printing data only from account details table and I am depending on transaction details table. Whenever we are printing data only from one table and depending on another table, we will use subquery. If we are retrieving data from more than one table, which concept do we use? I am retrieving data from more than one table. It means I am retrieving data from two tables or three tables. Which concept will we use? Joins is used to retrieve data from multiple tables. And subquery is used whenever we are retrieving data only from one table and depending on another table. Here also involvement of two tables will be there. And we are not printing data from the second table. We are not printing any values from second table. You can see the output of this subquery. You can see output. All columns are from only account details table.